Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be addressing probably the worst part of this whole project, which is this corner right here. After pressure washing, it is pretty bad. I didn't think it was this bad at first. It was underneath a lot of spray paint, but we're just gonna have to address it regardless. So what I'm gonna start with is just giving a rust treatment, like to kill the rust. Then I'm gonna wire brush, see what's actually solid, see what's hollow, and then we'll cut out all the rust and just go from there. See what is savable and what isn't. That's what I'm gonna be using. I read some reviews, and out of all the stuff at Ace, this seemed to be the best one there. You just brush it on, and it's supposed to make it bare metal. I personally don't believe it, but I guess we're gonna find out. Here we go. Let's try this, see what it does. Nice. Alright, I cleaned up a little bit on the edge, but I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna cut, see the Sharpie line? That's where the line goes with the new plate. I'm gonna scoot it back a hair. I'm gonna cut right here, all this out, and just go from there. I do have this donor piece, which this is just a battery tray on top that's rusty. You see how it's a top layer, but the layer that I need that's underneath seems to be good, solid. And then this piece I got online for 30 bucks. I could have made it, but figured for $30 I'd just buy it. It's right here. So I'm just gonna cut and just go from there. All right, so it is the next day. I left this stuff soak in that like rust liquid overnight. It doesn't look any different in my opinion. Maybe it just took off the actual rust and now the pitting is left behind. I don't know, but basically I'm gonna keep cutting at this. All right, so before I weld, what I did is I laid like this high heat primer in between those two layers just so it won't rust, even though that rust is probably gonna come right back. But yeah, I'm gonna lay this first tack on the panel and I'm just gonna go from there because I don't really know exactly where to go about it on something that's kind of this hurt. So I'm just gonna go for it and we'll go from there. What I'm basically doing is, as I'm going, you see this metal here, how flexible it is? Every tack, I readjust it so it sits flush. That way, at the end of it, I have the most flush metal I can get. You can see here what I'm working on. So what I'm gonna try and do, let's see if the camera can catch it. I don't know if you can see right there how this is curved up and then it's shy here. I'm gonna go from behind, try and push it, mold it around this plate and see what we can do from there. I'm gonna go start cutting this out. You can see there's still some holes left. I'm gonna cut here and then I'll start matching up the other piece so we can get this replaced. So now for this piece, I cleaned it up a little bit. Look at these Sharpie lines. From here, it's gonna go kind of like that. It's hard to see the vision, but just see here, this piece going like this. And the same thing here. I'm gonna cut it first, then you guys can take a look at it so you can see kind of where my mind is at with this, and we're gonna go from there. Here's the piece. Although the Sharpie was already being generous, I decided to cut a little extra. It won't hurt. So basically, see those two holes? We're looking at something like that. Obviously, I gotta do some trimming and adjusting, but somewhere roughly around there. So now we start, I guess, cutting the car. I'm gonna make a cut lower than this, so you see how this has the last rib here, which is this one. I'm gonna cut here on the second rib from right on the edge of the bolt. And I'm gonna come here right above this hump. You see the top of this hump here, it's the top of hump here. And right up to roughly like right here, because all this is good metal. And then basically to line this up, you see how this went lower? This piece is, wherever the meeting point is where I'll cut it, where our, wherever the meeting piece is where I'll cut it on both ends. So if it meets right here, then I'll trim this and then I'll cut this metal here just so it's an equal butt. And yeah, enough yapping, let's get cutting. Alright, that's how we're looking there. See if we can see the vision a little better. Boom. Something like that. Shit, I think I might have even went too far, god damn it. Why didn't no one tell me I went too far, bro? That's what y'all are supposed to do. Fuck. Well, more patchwork. Fuck it. That goes roughly around here. All right, here's what I have came with. I'm just gonna get into it and just start tacking, working my way through. You guys will witness the process. What I'm gonna do is get rid of this real quick before I weld it on. So be right back. 3, 2, 1. Little by little, basically you just want kind of like massaging the metal around, kinda. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can run this one. We did, yep. Push this in a little bit so I can get it a little more flush. You can see the red piece used to be straight, but on my car, since this is bowed from an accident, I gotta match it just so it all looks the same. And now I'm gonna work on this little piece that I miscut. So, be right back. All right, it is a new day. The goal for today is to finish welding this up. I'm gonna set the welder up, put the gas on it, and I'm gonna set you guys on the tripod. And basically, I'm just gonna slowly tack weld this up, get it welded fully, and then we'll sand it all down and make it smooth. Alright, so here it is. It's fully welded. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's a bunch of tack welds. Now that this is fully welded, and now I'll start grinding all the welds down with a grinder and these areas like this to have body lines. I have this thing called a finger sander, which I will show you guys in a second. But yeah, just to get to grinding. So basically you can see here, basically just blending it. It's not perfect. I took out a little too much. You can see I went through there, these little areas there, but just re-tack it. I'll go over it again and I'll go with it slowly. But yeah, basically just sand it away, blend it. All right, it is a different day, same video. I've got some progress done since you guys have last seen it. I decided to just focus the one day and just started going to work. What you see primed is just bare metal areas. I've taken a lot of stuff out of the bay, as you can see. Here we are with this. Basically, I left this stuff without body filler because you're not gonna see it. The only part I put body filler is the top weld. I'm just not stressing it. Yeah, you see like some of the welds, but I mean, battery goes on top of this. But you can see the pitting on here from the acid. But yeah. So this was, it was a little rough, so I just decided to bring it down to bare metal, just the top. The part that you're really gonna see when you open the hood. Sanded down the Bondo. I got it as best as I could. Again, I'm not tripping about this. I can obviously see it's not perfect. I don't really care that much. Way better than what it used to be. You're not gonna see there's gonna be a fuse box right here, battery here. It's not that big of a deal, but basically I'm about to lay primer on this so I don't let it rust. I'm gonna lay primer on this so I can see how it's looking, see if it needs another pass, and once that is all good and dry, we'll start sanding the bay. Once it's all sanded, we'll prime the areas that need the seam sealer, lay that down, and we'll call it a day. All right, I got the primer laid down. Looks good. I got the primer here laid down, and that's staying just like that. So now we'll get to sanding the rest of the bay. Sanding all this, and then once this is sanded, obviously take the subframe out and the front tension rods so we don't paint them, but they'll be ready for paint. Oh, and this is painted too. With the rust converter stuff. Not sure how well it works, but I guess we're gonna find out. All right, so although you can't tell, everything I gave a light sand with 400 grit. Next would be washing it down, water, soap, and some Scotch-Brite. So that will be up for the next video when I paint the bay. So that is going to conclude it. Is that the right word? That will be it for this video. Stay tuned for the paint, and I will see you guys on the next one.